everyone. My name is Amy, and I am the moderator tonight. And welcome to another exciting offering and amazing workshop celebrating the 20th anniversary of Artomatic. First, a couple housekeeping items to talk about. So one is please mute yourself so that we minimize or eliminate any background noise. The second thing I'll ask is if you will please turn off your camera so that we save bandwidth and can focus on Sharon, who will be presenting tonight. The third thing is the chat box is live already, and so there'll be lots of good stuff happening in there. And one of the great things that you should definitely put in there is any questions. Type them in there anytime. And if it's something on the technical end of things, I will be in the background and do our best to assist you. But please remember the chat box is also considered a public space. In this case, the session is being recorded. And lastly, this is a great community, so we ask that all and expect that all participants be respectful and follow instructions so everyone will have the best workshop experience possible. And certainly any disruptive or disrespectful behavior will result in removal from the workshop, but we won't have to go over any of that stuff because I can't imagine that will be on tap for this evening. Without further ado, you see on the screen an amazing slide deck and also amazing woman, Sharon Burton, who is here tonight to tell us all about the art of setting creative intentions. And so without further ado, I will turn it over to Sharon to take it away.
Oh, okay, unmuted. Well, good evening, everyone. I see some familiar names and some that I've known for quite some time, so it's really great to see you. I am Sharon Burton, and I am an artist, an art curator, an art advisor. What else? I'm a poet. That's fairly new. And a creativity coach. So, you know, I wanted to present this to you today as in my creativity coach hat, as the founder of Spark Your Creative Coaching. But not only that, I thought this was a good topic for those of us that need to stay on point with your creative life. I know at this point of our journey this year, we've had a lot of changes, COVID and a lot of lifestyle changes. And even though we may find ourselves home more, that does not mean that we're always going to be focused on what we need to do for our creative life and getting what our creative goals met. So we're going to talk about the art of setting creative intentions, and hopefully this will be something that would be very helpful for you. This is our objectives. We're going to identify what an intention is and is not, tell the difference between a goal and an intention, how to create an intention, and how to use affirmations to reinforce your intention. So a little bit about me, and I want to hear about you. My creative journey started probably at 3 years old. My sister and I'm a twin, and she's an artist as well. We took an afternoon that my mom was exhausted and started writing in ink all over the living room wall. And it's interesting, I can barely remember it. I can barely remember doing it. And I believe there was a method to the madness. I think we were actually drawing something. So that's my earliest memory of actually creating. And what you see here is something that I did in middle school, a drawing of two deer. And I love this rendering because it reminds me of that I am keeping what I enjoyed, the passion that I enjoyed as a youngster inside of me today. Now, I don't do this style of art. At this point, I do collage and mixed media art, but it just, there was a time I didn't think I could get back to this. If you were growing up in the 70s and 80s, and maybe the late 80s trying to go to college, the big thing at that time was business, engineering, health care, kind of hard science majors. And so nobody was encouraging folks, at least that I know of, to really go to art school unless they had an art background, like the parents were artists or whatever. And although my parents nurtured my creative gifts, they were not, there was just a feeling that, well, if you go to college, you're going to have to get something that was employable. So once that bubble was burst, I went into business administration, and then later got my master's in public administration, and became employable. But it was somewhere in my early 30s that it started gnawing on me right after I got my master's, that I kept getting this message that you need to go back and go to art school. You need to take some art classes. And I was like, no, I wasn't going to do that. I didn't feel, I'm not really an artist, and blah, blah, blah. And it took another maybe 7 or 8 years before I actually got the nerve to take a drawing class at the Smithsonian. And from then, I took other classes and started exhibiting my work. And my work has been in a lot of different shows and, different places. So it took me a while to get there and to get comfortable showing my work and doing and actually establishing an art practice. So I want to know, before we get started, I want to know a little bit about each of you. So if you could put in the chat box just maybe your first name or your initials, whatever you feel comfortable with, and just let me know if you're an artist, a writer, a musician, just a little bit about you. Just like Sharon, artist. I'd like to see that so we know who's in the house. Okay, all right. Writer, okay, artist. Started playwriting, cool. Occasional artist and poet, gotcha. Writer, a lot of writers in the room, good. Artist. Okay. Experimentalist, that's interesting. I call myself experimentalist too. Brash, how you doing, girl? Yes. Artist. Kitchen dancer. I love that. I love that. I love that. Okay. One of the other things that I claim, or I'm claiming too, which is kind of interesting, through COVID, I've been learning how to do belly dancing. So I have to add that to my list. I am not a performer by any means, but I just been loving it. And hopefully you all have been doing some really cool things too. How you doing, Cherie? It's good to see your name. artist and collector. I am a collector too, by the way. So cool. So we got a nice group of a mixture of creatives in the house. So that's really helpful for me. All right. One of my favorite quotes about creativity is this one: whatever you can do, dream, you can begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. So it's about starting. It's about getting started in what you want to do and dreaming it up and actually setting your goal and your intention. So we're going to talk about intentions. All right. Getting used to this. This is like, Deepak Chopra, he's very deep. So, his explanation, of course, is kind of reflects that. But it's actually something that we want to do or want to set in the moment. And that's the difference between that intention and a goal. An intention is sort of more immediate. And it supports your goal, and it also supports who you are as a person, what your values are, and what you feel that you can contribute to whatever it is that you're trying to do. And one of the things I like is this explanation by Marla Takaba, because she talks about, you raise your emotional energy, which in turn raises your physical energy. So there's a connection between what you're proposing to do and what your purpose is, what your creative goal is, what your creative drive is. So versus intention, goals are sort of a completion of a task for the future, with steps that help you get there. Intention is based on the present. And for us as creatives, it helps us to define how our body. So it's a much more intimate, in some ways, level of setting something that you want to do with your art. Now, for me, as an artist and a writer, intentions have become much more important to me as things have gotten disrupted in this world. It has really, I've had to be a little bit more intentional about moving past all of the things that have really bothered me about where we are right now, and to stay kind of set on what it is I need to do for my creative goals. So we're going to talk about that, and we're actually going to set some intentions or an intention tonight to kind of walk you through how you can use intentions to help you kind of reach your goals, your creative goals in what you're doing on a daily basis. Here are some guidelines or some suggestions to help you set those intentions. Meditation is the rage now. People are talking about that. You might want to meditate for a while and engage in some kind of ritual to set your intention. You can, the next two bullets are kind of related. Once you release your intentions and let the universe take the wheel as far as where you go with it. This is for those of you who kind of get into the moon and the phases of the moon and all that kind of stuff like I do. It's the new moon right now. And so a lot of people set new intentions for the next, 30 days or until the full moon comes through. And it's really a good time because astrologically and cosmically and all that kind of stuff, and I'm not an expert at any of this, but it's supposed to be a good time as far as a lot of the universal energies to support what it is that you want to do. So this is actually a beautiful time to do this workshop because it is the new moon tonight. Some other guidelines, setting a timeline. Selecting your intentions, write it in first person and present tense. and own it. And that's the most important thing, is really writing it in first person and owning it, because that's going to be the drive, that's going to be part of the energy that you're putting into your intention. And so you can feel that it's a part of what you're about. Okay, we're going to do our first little writing exercise here, and we're going to write a creative intention. And I'd like for you to think about a creative goal that you ultimately want to reach, and then think about an intention you want to set for this week that will help you reach that goal. Write it down, and when you're ready, you can post it in the chat box. So if you would say, just as an example, my intention is to write 3 chapters of my book by Saturday. That might be an intention. My intention is to experiment with different kinds of paint colors in the range of pink for this background that I want to try to do for this painting. Those are just some examples. So I'm going to give you all a few minutes to do that. If you don't want to share yours, that's fine. If you'd like to, that would be great. And it kind of helps other people get a better sense of how to write their intention. And if you want to write more than one, that's fine. If you feel really driven to write some intentions for this week. Okay, order paint for a new project. Okay. Okay. Right now I have Jean's intention is to order paint for a new project. I have Cherie, her intention is creating collages over painting. That sounds like fun. Sounds like something I'd like to do. Darcelin's, I hope I'm saying that right. Her intention is to draft a short story by Saturday. Cool. Anybody else want to share? Okay. All right. So, and you're free to feel free to share too if you want to, and as we go along. All right, we got our intention, and now we're going to talk a little bit about affirmations. And affirmations are very popular right now with a lot of the woo-woo, wellness community. And there's been some debate back and forth about the effectiveness of affirmations. But I have found that in a lot of circumstances, particularly for us as creatives, that affirmations can be very helpful in kind of pushing us towards what we need to do. And so I'm just presenting this as a way to strengthen your intentions. I think intentions, if they're well written and they're clear and they again, have that connection to your, that emotional side, that passionate side about what it is that you want to do, that can be enough. But for some of us, sometimes we need a little bit more reinforcement. I know I do. so affirmations have been known to help short circuit our brain to move past the negative to more positive thoughts. They can help us control negative feelings. They can help improve your self-esteem, finish projects you've started, improve your productivity, and overcome bad habits. I have affirmations around my office studio here that to remind me and reinforce a lot of the things that I know I need to do. I am writing a book, so I'm working on staying focused on that. I am working on a new art series, so I have affirmations that help me just sort of remember why I'm doing what I'm doing and to keep me focused. But one of the things that I found really great and most effective for me is to match that with the intentions that I want to do for the day. I'm a person that's big on what do you call those, morning pages, which made popular by Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way. So every morning before I write everything I need to write, I write out my affirmations for the week that kind of help me stay focused on what it is I need to do each day and have that connected to my intentions. So this is an example of how I do it. For example, there is an affirmation I have: my creative time is a priority in my life. So my intention is to utilize as much free time as possible, whether it's 30 minutes or 2 hours, towards writing a chapter in my book. Another affirmation: I honor my creative process. This week, my intention is to experiment with any method ideal that comes to mind without judgment or concern with the perfect outcome. Now, some of these intentions are a little long because I tend to be a little verbose, but what is really helpful is to match that affirmation with the intention that you've set for yourself. So what I'd like for you to do is take a moment to look at your intention and create an affirmation that supports that intention, that will kind of give you the energy, the juice to kind of say, yes, I got to get this done. And the affirmation, again, a lot of that's going to be based on what you value, what you feel is important to you as a creative person. They're always written in first person. I this, my that. I am a exceptional creative being. I am dedicated to working on this special project to serve humanity, or whatever like that. So let's experiment with that. And if you feel comfortable, share in the chat box when you're finished what you wrote and how you matched your intention. Right in the chat box, your affirmation and the intention that supports it. I like that affirmation, Darkselin. That's correct. And that's part of it too. You don't want to. The affirmation supports who you are, and when you write them, it's not about perfection. It's not about I'm just going to nail it the first time or whatever. It's about, where you what is going to support you in reaching your intention. How's everybody doing with this? I'm not seeing too many affirmations in here. Chandra, I love this. You're creating a 24 by 30 acrylic painting as a gift for your mom. That is beautiful. Intention, create 2 smaller paintings this week. I love that. Very good. My intention, Alana, is to lean into creative community, say yes, take bold action. Great. Draft a short story. Okay. Yes, Sarah, I love that. Affirmation, Sarah's affirmation is, I have thoughts and feelings worth writing about. And that's a powerful affirmation because we all do. And that can support whatever intention that she has for the week to write. Okay, Ashandra, I will allow myself to be led by the natural creative flow. Oh, I love this. And accept the end product without apology. Yes, girl, yes. Alana, I feel great joy in co-creating. The deep energy of making uplifts and inspires me to move projects forward. Yes. Y'all need to be writing some affirmations for me. These are awesome. These are awesome. So the magic of affirmations like this, that is sort of that overall feeling that you want to feel about and to affirm for yourself. And then you match that with your intention, whether it's a daily intention, whether it's a weekly or a monthly intention, that is going to be a powerful way to support your intention, because if nothing else, your affirmation is going to remind you that intention is on the books. And you know, one of the things that it's really helpful, at the beginning of each week, I do kind of a I look at all the intentions that I did that I set for myself the week before, and make sure I check them off. If I didn't do them, no worries, we put it back for this week. But I also set some new intentions, and I set some affirmations to support them. So on my what do you call it, the planner that I have, on the top I'll write what the affirmation of the week is, and then the intentions for each day. Might be tedious, but it helps me to kind of see visually what it is that I'm supposed to be doing or concentrating on. And it helps keep you organized, because let's face it, you know, people are saying, well, you're home, you shouldn't have to worry about this, that, and the other. But you know, we're in unusual times, and sometimes we have to put in place different rituals to kind of keep us focused and keep us, on track with what we're trying to do. So this is a way of doing that without, in my sense, I don't think it's really an overwhelming thing. It just takes time, and it takes a little bit of patience, as well as getting in touch with where you are inside, to kind of bring that out to reach what it is that you want to do. Okay. Okay, we just did that. All right, we're at the end of the presentation, actually. We're a little early, which is not bad. I'd rather be a little bit early or late. Does anybody have any questions that you all want to ask me about this? In the chat here. Oh, we got some new stuff people did. Affirmation, Alana, I feel great joy in co-creating. The depth of energy making uplifts inspires me to move projects forward. Sarah, her intention this week, I will sit down and write whatever needs to come out, regardless of whether or not there is an ideal or plan in place for what to write. Okay. Louise, experiment with natural pigments. Affirmations, I will be open-minded. Oh, I love that. Now that's a great combination. Louise just put in the chat. Her intention is to experiment with natural pigments. And her affirmations, I'll be open-minded and curious when creating. So it's not like there's no set there. It's more of, I'm just going to be open to whatever I create, which is great. It doesn't give you that pressure that I gotta, it's gotta look like this and it's gotta look like that. I'm going to be open to whatever comes up. Oh, great. Thank you, Ashandra. Yeah, it's a different way of thinking. And Brash, please talk about what to do when you don't reach your intentions. Okay, I will put that on my list. Okay, any other questions? If you don't when you don't reach your intentions, one of the things, and Chandra, that's a good question too. One of the things that I do if I don't reach my intentions, and I do this from a weekly basis, I put it back on for the next week, but I also try to take a look at why. One of the things I love about the morning pages or any kind of morning or kind of journaling thing, I try to express some of the things that might be bothering me or some of the things that are going on, and I try to see, is there a relationship between what might be going on with me to me not reaching my intentions. For example, one of my intentions was to, I'm writing a book, so I need to write another chapter. And it was my intention when I went away this past week, because I had to run away. I had to run away. But I wanted to do some writing, and I didn't do it. I outlined it, but I didn't actually write it. And I think it's because when I looked at that intention, I kind of realized it's a tough chapter. It's a chapter kind of relating to COVID and to what's been going on. And I'm still processing how I feel about it. But I don't beat myself over it. I understand where I am. I understand it's something I'm going to have to do. But I had to take a step back and say, okay, maybe I need to do some journaling about how do I really feel about this? Not just, I can't wait till this place opens up and I can do whatever, but how do I really feel about this? How do I really feel about what's going on and how that's affecting people? And, where am I with that personally? Okay, so the way I did that, Brash, is just to make sure that one, it stays back on the list for the next week or the next day or whatever. It stays on. It doesn't fall off. But two, I examine why it might not be there. The other thing is I had, and I was sharing with the folks here, I've had some problems with Wi-Fi at home, and some of it was due to the storms and things that were going on. So there was some research I wasn't able to do in a timely fashion. So, you have those types of things. But I think it's really being willing to find out and to uncover where you might be blocking yourself from getting those intentions done and really finding out why. And in some cases, maybe you can't do that intention right away. You might have to put that aside until certain things happen before you can do it. So, I don't look at it, and I try to tell people and my clients particularly, we got so much on us right now that we're all processing. We can't beat ourselves up if we don't make certain things happen. We can only be, we can be determined, we can be as disciplined as possible, but we got to cut ourselves some slack. So hopefully that helps. Chandra asked, do I maintain a running list of affirmations? I do. There are affirmations that I write myself. There's affirmations I borrow from different places. Most of the affirmations I write myself. I used to couldn't write them. Because I used to be like, I don't know how to write this. And, you know, like, how do I write this? And after a while, it comes to you, you know, and even if you're not feeling totally 100% what the affirmation says, it's about putting in your mind that that is a possibility for you. And some of the affirmations that people wrote here are excellent, and they're excellent ways to start. You can do even a Google search on creative affirmations, and there's all kinds of blog articles and things that people have written with, you know, thousands of different affirmations. And so sometimes I keep them in my phone, like in the note section. I'll just have a running list there. One of the things is, once I set an affirmation for the week or whatever, I try to do pop-up notifications on my phone, where all of a sudden it will just pop up and just sort of remind me of where what my affirmations are. Because, you know, as you go through the day or go through the week, sometimes we forget, you know, what we have committed to ourselves to believe and to think and to focus on for the week. So I'll do that. And that's a good way of sort of keeping it in front of you. I'll print some out and put them in my studio office space, or as spaces where I can see them on a daily basis to remind myself. So that's how I do that. But yes, I do keep a bunch going. Let's see. Cherie, it is the process when I create, I enjoy. Yeah, that's a good one. How many intentions do you set for each new moon? Oh, good question. Do you ever repeat them, or are certain ones going for multiple months? Yeah, that's a good app, by the way. I haven't tried it yet, but I've heard good things. I am. The intentions I set for the new moon, I usually try to keep it at 3, because if I get beyond that, I feel like I want to try to keep intentions that are, and those are overall intentions, that are kind of easy to, not easy, but just easy to remember, and I don't feel so overwhelmed. And do I repeat them or keep certain ones going? Sometimes. It depends on what it is I'm trying to do. Like if I'm writing this book, that's sort of an ongoing one. One of the other things is that I started collecting art photos for a collage series. And I haven't really started on it. And it's very timely, actually, for a lot that's going on. So one of the things for this new moon, I am intending to get started on that. And you know, there's no reason for me not to, because I have the images. It's just a matter of just doing it. And if I need something, I can order it. It's no biggie. But, you know, so like my intentions for this new moon will include the book, will include that new series, and maybe one other thing that might be for my business or whatever. So yeah, and and you know, I think they can be customized based on what it is you're trying to do. You know, I think one of the things too that is really important to kind of remember is your why for your intentions. You know, what is it? What is your why? Why do you want to create? Why do you want to create that series? What is it? What is your why? Because that helps you be clear. You know, it's one thing to say, well, I intend to do blah, 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 blah. But what is the ongoing thing? What is the ongoing why? You know, if I'm an artist, what is my why? If I'm a writer, what is my why? You know, my book is going to help other creatives. That's my why, you know, to help them stay unblocked and to help them stay motivated to create. And so every intention that I do towards that book has to, you know, it supports that. And I have a affirmation to kind of support the whole thing. So, you know, that's one of the things to kind of keep in mind. Baby steps are great. A masterpiece isn't created overnight. That's correct. How often do you review the affirmations for that week? Is there a process behind checking them off or carrying them forward to the next week? There is no there's no set way of dealing with the affirmations. I review my affirmations try to do it each day. And I write them out as part of my writing for my morning pages. You may decide to do something different. Like I said, you may put it in your phone and just have it pop up. You may have it in front of you. You know, it depends on how you want to review them and what's going to work for you. Is there a process besides checking them off or carrying them forward to the next week? Not really. I think it's really up to you. You know, it's just, you know, if you feel that, you know, a check off type thing works for you, if you feel that certain things need to carry into the next week, if that works for you, you know, that's the magic of doing these types of things. There's no right or wrong. You know, it's just whatever works for you. Oh, I love this one. I am worthy of self-love and joy every day. Yes, I will be loving and kind to myself and the world around me. I'll continue to shine bright and create beauty. That's right. There you go. There you go. Let's see. All right. Do you set up rewards for yourself? You know, that is one of my personal goals, is to set up rewards for myself. I have it's not in here. I have a jar where I write down my accomplishments or my wins, and I put them in that jar. And that's sort of a way to kind of remind myself when, you know, things aren't as sunny, that I've been able to reach some intentions, reach some goals, reach some milestones. But I think that's a very good ideal, to set up rewards for yourself, whether it is, and it's a little weird right now, but, you know, ordering, you know, maybe I'll order a crystal or something, or, you know, maybe there's something special that I like to eat and I'll hit DoorDash and order that, or, you know, but I think it's good to set some rewards for yourself. And also, you know, it's really looking at what is the intrinsic value for you. What turns you on? Is it buying some more supplies? Is it buying somebody else's artwork? Is it indulging in a piece of jewelry, or you know, a small gift for yourself? You know, I think it's important, and I appreciate you bringing that up, because I do think that's very important. Okay. All right. Any other questions? The jar is a great image. Yeah. And gift. Yes, it is. I think so too. Thank you. Thank you. Do you go back and read your morning pages, as you said? Yes, actually I do, Alana. And I have a workshop actually, that I do, that talks about using the morning pages to help you unblock, or, and when you talk about, somebody was talking about if you don't reach your intentions, to kind of mine a lot of that. And I know Julia Cameron doesn't talk. She's like, write it out and just let it go. But I go back every so often, particularly if I'm finding that I'm really blocked on something or I'm getting frustrated, and I look for clues. And there's ways that you can look through your writing and find clues as to what are some of the major stuff that's going on. Because when you're writing, sometimes you're not really paying attention. You know, you're just free writing, and you may not even realize you've written about the same thing like 3 or 4 times one week, you know, and you're not really thinking that that might be an issue. But that's the beauty of journaling or doing a morning pages practice, because you're unleashing everything out in a healthy way. You're not cussing folks out, you know, but you're actually writing, you know, and there's clues to what you're writing, you know, there's clues to what you're saying. I'm going to share that right now. The God box. Yes, yes, yes. Matter of fact, I was thinking about doing a workshop on the God box. Maybe I might do that. All right, this is just as a segue. This is a little bit about my company. I am a creativity coach, and these are some of the things that I do for folks. And I really like working with artists, and then those that are really artists and writers and people that are really trying to start, and especially after maybe a long time of not doing anything, or they're at, empty nesters, people that are, their life is transitioning where they have more time to go back to a creative practice. But I also work with those that are active as well. So these are some of the things that I do with that. Um, and this is just a little bit about what a creativity coach. And I'm basically a life coach for creatives. That's just, that's probably the long and short of it. There's a certification that you can get for this, but basically I work with you to look at some of the issues that you're dealing with in your creativity. And also I provide workshops like this one. To help people with just different things, whether it's goal setting, whether it's moving past blocks, whether it's, anything that you feel that might affect you from being productive. This is just some of the advantages of working with me. A lot of times you just need somebody to help you out a little bit. Most of the time you can do it in like three sessions with me. I've had people, it doesn't have to be a long-term thing, but sometimes it's just getting through a difficult situation or project or something of that nature. That's basically how I do it. And I have a special that's going on. If you want to work with me with a 2-hour goal setting strategy session, and that can be split up. It's not just in one session. It's $147 if you're interested in that, which is a steal. But that's my email address there at the bottom. If you want to get in touch with me, and if you'd like to be on my email list when I do workshops and that sort of thing. I have a couple workshops actually coming up in September that might be of interest to people. Actually 3, I think we're going to do. This is a final quote here. I love this by Stephen Pressfield. I don't know if anybody knows him, but he's just like the bomb. But it's just sort of tells you, we all suffer when you don't move forward with what you do. Your creative gifts it lights up the world, and right now the world needs a lot of light. So, every time that you procrastinate, every time that you decide you're not going to do something, that's one person or several that don't benefit from your gifts. And if nothing else, if that's not what you need to write an affirmation or anything to support you, I don't know what it is, because artists and creatives are, we're giving hope and light to the world right now. And when we don't show up, that means someone is not benefiting from what we can do. So this is how you can find me. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. I have a podcast, I have newsletter, I have a blog, I have a lot of different things. I would love for you to be a part of my squad. I'm glad that you like this. I'm glad that you like this. And I'll be hosting more workshops this fall. One workshop will be coming up that's kind of related to this, that will be a fundraiser for one of the artist organizations that's raising funds for artists that are affected by COVID. So hopefully that might be something you'd be interested in. But thank you for participating, and hopefully this was helpful for you.
All right. Well, thanks, Sharon. And thank you everyone for attending. We really appreciate your time, expertise, and all that you gave us tonight. And thank you everyone for joining us. The room is now closed and the workshop is done, but we hope to see you at another Artomatic event and hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you. Take care, everybody.